Dear distant dad, this letter is to express my pain and feelings. I didn't call or write too much because it was like you were a character in a fairy tale, meaning I did not have a father, so I made one up. The whole time I have been living with my mother, I have been blaming her for your lack of care. I feel like you haven't been a real father to me in my eyes. Before I lived with you, I only got a few calls and even fewer letters. Now
I don't get anything, not even a birthday card signed by your wife. It's as if you don't even have time to write your own daughter a letter. Or even worse, don't care whether I hear from you or not. The film you are about to see is about 5 teenagers and their relationships with their fathers. It's kind of like this abandoned, empty old house. At one point in time, somebody loved it, they built it, but now they've left it abandoned. As we walk into this house, like we walk into their lives, you'll see their loneliness and pain in these empty rooms. These children were originally brought to me for counseling because they were acting like destructive, out of control brats. But as you can see, they're just normal, healthy kids in a whole lot of pain. Stephanie had a serious drinking problem. She lives 2 entirely different lives, one rigid and controlled, the other wild and self-destructive. Karen, who can just never ever seem to forget the pain she has from needing her father to care. Megan, beautiful, a straight-A student, a cheerleader who tries to make everything perfect, but can never seem to get it right. Jason, always angry, violent. He'd rather put his fist through a wall than to simply cry. Kristen, she's 15, normal, everyday kid. She got herself into a real mess, though, from her own pain.
A lot of guys liked us. A lot of guys wanted to take us out. A lot of guys wanted to date us, spend money on us, but in return they wanted to go to bed with us, and we were fine with that. We always had our cigarettes, and we always had our alcohol, and we always had our marijuana, and we had someone who, in one way or another, cared for us, so we were both pretty happy with it. I guess I wanted to have the affection of a man in some way because I didn't have my father's.
So you needed it really bad.
Yeah.
To the point where I was willing to swap.
Yeah.
Swap what?
My body for a few minutes of affection.
Feels like I'm always struggling with Dad to get his attention, to get his love. How come?
Why do I struggle?
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess I still think there's hope.
Why don't you just give up? Shine it on.
No, I can't give up. I don't think I'll ever give up.
Why?
Because I always want that love from him.
Why can't you get it from a boyfriend or from somebody else?
Well, I've tried and it doesn't work. It's just no one else can fill that space.
Why?
Because they're not my dad.
People leave me and leave my life.
Like dads? You say that dads leave.
Yeah.
You told me before, honey, that men are hurtful people. They lie. What do they lie about?
They lie about love.
What do they say?
Well, they may tell me that they love me, but if they leave and they forget about me, then they didn't really love me.
They say they love you, but it seems like maybe like your mom instead, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How many dads have we been through?
Jim is my third dad.
for my second stepfather. Well, they care about me, but they care about themselves a lot. And when I need help, sometimes they're not there to listen to me.
So there's no one else, huh? Except your friends?
Mm-hmm.
They're in a lot of pain too, huh?
Yeah.
So what does that make you feel like? Inside of you?
Just lonely.
So you thought about killing yourself?
More like I wanted just to be run over or something. I didn't really want to kill myself, but I wanted to die.
How come?
Because I felt alone.
Well, actually, I got so mad at everybody. I wanted to hurt them. You know, I just wanted to go away and never come back. I hated everything, and I wanted to hurt them. I wanted to kill myself, and I wanted them to feel bad. I wanted them to feel what I felt the whole time, and they just sat there laughing.
Is that what it felt like?
Felt like, I don't know, like I just didn't care. I didn't care if I was dead. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to I just didn't want to feel that pain anymore.
So anyways, I went into her medicine cabinet and I grabbed a bottle of economy aspirin. You know, those big bottles, family bottles of aspirin. And I took all the aspirin, and there was a bottle of codeine, prescription codeine, some codeine left in the bottle. And I took those also. Then my mother called my father. And he told me I was just like my mother, that my mother had tried this before. He told me he didn't want to take me because my mother wanted to send me away to him. He told me he didn't want to take me, that, you know, he couldn't have his children grow up with an older sister like me, you know. I was like zoning on my bed, just doing nothing but letting my ears ring, and I was crying.
What did it feel like, Annie? Do you remember what it felt like? How'd you feel?
Kind of relieved in a way.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't have to put up with it anymore, I guess. Put up with my mother. Put up with the fact that I wouldn't have a father. I was wanting to show them that, you know, they would miss me if I was gone, and they would care about me.
So I wanted them to care? I wanted them to care so bad that I was willing to die? And they wouldn't care anyway. What did that feel like? It's all right, take your time. Take your time.
It hurt a lot. It hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Ever since my suicide attempt, it was as if you disowned me. Are you ashamed to have me as your daughter? The whole reason I attempted it was because I was hurting. I looked for, needed caring in boys, sex, drugs, and anything else that would destroy me. The boys that I wanted to just hold me ended up making me pay to be held by giving my body to them. I was hurt because once they got what they wanted, they left. Just like my many fathers left my mother, you at the top of the list.
What are dads supposed to be like?
They're supposed to give me affection, tell me that I'm pretty, make me feel good enough for other people. It's the same with moms, but dads are a big part of it. A kid needs a mom and a dad. And a part of my life isn't there when I don't have a dad. A part of my life is empty when I don't have a dad.
Well, it's kind of scary because I don't know that he'll ever fill that spot. And it's scary to think about going through the rest of my life with this always being an issue. Always wanting his love and never being able to get it.
How'd you feel about your dad before all this started? All of the problems, the anger at home?
I thought before he was the greatest guy. And I thought he liked me a lot, loved me a lot. I don't know.
During all this, when all this was going on, is that how you felt about him?
I thought, well, actually, when this was all going on, I thought of him as just an escape.
A way to escape. Okay, when you were younger, you felt like he really wanted you, he really loved you,
Yeah.
he really cared about you. And then some things started to change between you and him. He lives in San Diego.
Yes.
Okay. What started to change?
Just the way he would talk to me about going to see him, the ways he would want to go about doing it.
Like what?
He used to come get us in the car, and we'd like have quality time together there and back and stuff. Then he started putting us on the train, and that was okay still because we were still going to see him and everything. And then coming up to now that I got my car, he doesn't want to pay for the train ticket anymore, and I just see it as, oh, fine, you don't want me to come down anymore, or what?
So, even before that, there was a little problem with the train, though, right? He didn't want to pay for the train anymore?
Well, he kept on saying, your mom should pay half, or I shouldn't have to pay the whole thing.
So your mom and dad would fight over this train trip down there. How did
Yeah.
it make you feel when they would fight over that?
It hurts. And, especially because I was so young when they got separated, but, I mean, when I was little, I used to pray that they'd maybe find a way to get back together or be together again. And it hurts because I don't like to see them fight. I mean, because I love them both.
Yeah.
Last night I dreamt that somebody loved me, but it was just a silly dream. It was not what I see. Nobody would ever love me. Last night I felt your arms around me. Then I woke up and there was nothing there, just an empty space for me to bear. Longing for your love, but you're not there. Nothing is what it seems in your dreams.
Is that what it felt like? And no one could ever love you? How come no one could ever love you?
Because I always seem to do everything wrong.
Doesn't matter what I did, it was wrong? I felt so lonely, so distant. All I wanted is someone to hold me. Last night I felt your arms around me. And then I woke up and there was nothing there. Just an empty space for me to bear. You didn't think I knew that from me, did you? Tell me what that feels like.
I don't know. It's just an empty space in my heart where love should be, and it's not there.
What do you need?
A father, most of all.
Why most of all a father?
I'd always had a mother, in a way, I guess. But no father. I'd have these men, but they always leave. Men always leave.
Why do men always leave? What's wrong with you, honey, that men always leave? feels like there's something wrong with you? So somewhere deep inside, even after all the talking and all the things that we've done, there's still this gnawing little feeling that says there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Maybe if I were...
Like they just don't love me enough. There's something wrong with me that makes it so people can't love me enough.
That I need too much love. That's wrong with me.
Or that I don't deserve.
What's wrong with you?
I
How
don't
do you
deserve the love.
What do you feel? What's wrong with you that you don't deserve love?
I don't know. There's just something innate about me that makes it so they can't really love me.
What happens when you're alone?
I get bored, I get sad. It's like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to listen to the radio. Radio stinks. I just don't want to do nothing. I mean, if there's nothing to do, I get really antsy and really, I feel like I get bored easy. I mean, it's just, I always have to be going.
And if I don't go, what happens?
Then I get bored and I just sit there and do nothing. And
Nothing but what? What happens if I think too much?
I think different things.
Like what?
I start thinking about my dad.
Like what? What kind of thoughts?
Like, wonder what he's doing. I wonder if he'll ever call me.
So if we could talk to him and we could say, this is how you do it, Dad. How would he do it?
Well, if he would just give me a chance, because I'm as scared of him as he is of me.
Yeah.
If we both put that aside and tried to...
What could he do to put it aside?
to put the fear aside.
Uh-huh. What could he do? What would you do? Where would we go? What would we say? What would you want him to say? What would you want him to do?
I don't know. He didn't... just to take me somewhere where I wouldn't have to be someone else that everyone would have to... I wouldn't have to conform to what everyone else wanted. Like my stepmom, I wouldn't have to be afraid of her. If I'm alone with my dad, it would be a lot easier to be myself.
Can he touch you?
Mm-hmm.
How can he touch you?
He could hug me, put his arms around me, give me a kiss, or touch my hair. Maybe even if no one's around, he could hold my hand.
Mm. If we could say something to Dad, your dad, right now, to make him understand how you feel and what you would like him to do, what would you say?
That I want him to love me. I want him to show that he loves me. Call me once in a while.
Yeah, I can understand that. Just a call would make such a big difference, huh? How would he do it? Would he come to you? Would you like him to come and spend time with you? What would you like him to do?
Yeah, I'd like him to spend time with me more. Like he used to.
How did he used to?
We used to do something I really liked, flying airplanes, model airplanes. We don't do that anymore.
I've changed a lot these past few months, and I feel like asking if I'm somehow good enough to be your daughter. The problem with that is that I was always good enough. You were just too blind in your own problems to see a hurting little girl looking desperately for love anywhere I could find it. I guess this letter is an effort to make one last plea to you to give you the chance to show some kind of love to your own daughter. You don't even have to respond to this letter. You can just ignore it like you have ignored me. I guess I even wonder if you care or know what I look like. I do know this, that if you choose to ignore me in this letter, then you lose. You lose the privileges of ever getting to love me, hold me in your arms, and that my father you lose. Someday, someone will hold me and care about me, and that someone won't be you, but he'll get a treasure. Your eldest daughter, Kristen. P.S. Did you notice that we have the same last name? I do hope you hear my plea and respond.
When you sent that to him, what did he say?
He didn't write back.
How's it feel?
It hurts a lot.
Stephanie's poem says, I can't do it. Help me, please. Take away this ugly disease. It won't go away. It's going to stay forever. I'll never be able to live. My legs have gone. My arms have disappeared. There's nothing left except lonely fear. Take away this pain of guilt and hate and fill it with love and fate. But that won't happen today because this is reality.
It hurts a lot.
Not all children are like this. Not all fathers abandon their children. But more and more today, we're seeing broken homes and hurting children. The kids in this video have made very specific, hopeful suggestions for their fathers. Holding a hand, playing airplanes, maybe even just making a phone call. But without that kind of hope, these children are willing to do anything.